Have you ever wondered why some men fear love and marriage? Ponder this question as we embark on a journey to uncover the roots of this fear. When we think of love and marriage, we often picture a blissful union, a partnership for life. But for some men, these concepts can evoke a sense of trepidation and dread. In our society, men are often expected to be the providers, the rock of the family. But what happens when that rock feels like it's crumbling under pressure? This fear is not unfounded. The potential losses in a marriage, financial or otherwise, can be overwhelming, not to mention the possible heartbreak of losing custody of their children post-divorce. Understanding these fears is crucial, not only for those who experience them, but also for those who wish to understand the complexities of modern relationships. So, without further ado, let's dive into why some men fear the ultimate commitment and what they stand to lose. One of the major factors contributing to men's fear of marriage is the potential financial risk. This is no mere conjecture. It's a reality that many men face in the event of a divorce. Let's delve into some statistics to give you a clearer picture. Reportedly, in the United States, an average man may lose half of his assets in a divorce settlement. This often includes the family home, cars, and even part of his retirement savings. In addition to this, he may be ordered to pay alimony and child support, which can further deplete his finances. Now, let's take a real-life case to illustrate this point. Consider the story of John, a successful businessman from California. When he married Sarah, he was hopelessly in love and believed it would last forever. But after 15 years of marriage, they decided to part ways. John was not only emotionally devastated, but also financially crippled. He had to split his assets, which included his business, with Sarah. Additionally, he was ordered to pay alimony and child support for their 2 children. Despite his successful business, John found himself struggling to maintain his previous lifestyle. This is not an isolated case. There are countless Johns out there who find themselves in the same predicament. The fear of ending up in a similar situation is one of the reasons why many men are apprehensive about tying the knot. It's important to note that these financial implications don't just affect the man's lifestyle. They can also have a significant impact on his mental health. The stress of financial instability can lead to anxiety, depression, and even suicide in some cases. However, it's not all doom and gloom. There are ways to protect oneself from the financial risks associated with divorce. These include prenuptial agreements and smart financial planning, but that's a topic for another time. Indeed, the financial risk can be a daunting factor that fuels men's apprehension towards marriage. It's crucial to understand these risks and take steps to mitigate them before taking the leap into marital bliss. Beyond finances, the thought of losing children in a divorce is a terrifying prospect for many men. It's a fear that gnaws at the heart, creating an unsettling apprehension about marriage and commitment. Imagine, if you will, the case of Ben. Ben, a loving father, doted on his kids. He was there for every soccer game, every school play, every scraped knee and bedtime story. But when his marriage ended, he found himself on the losing end of a custody battle. Despite his deep love and commitment, the court ruled in favor of the mother, leaving John with limited access to his children. This is not an uncommon story. Often custody battles lean heavily in favor of the mother, leaving fathers like John feeling powerless and disconnected from their children. It's a bitter pill to swallow, having to watch from the sidelines as your children grow, developing and changing in ways you're no longer privy to. The statistics tell a grim tale. In the United States, for instance, mothers are awarded primary custody almost 80% of the time. This leaves fathers with mere weekends, holidays, or in some cases only supervised visits. A father's role is reduced from an active daily presence to a peripheral figure. But it's not just about quantity, it's about quality too. The limited time fathers have with their children often feels strained, burdened with the weight of making every moment count. This can lead to a strained relationship as fathers grapple with the guilt, sadness, and frustration of their reduced role. This fear, the fear of becoming a weekend or holiday dad, can be a powerful deterrent to marriage. It's a fear that can make men hesitate, question, and even avoid marriage altogether. Because once a man chooses to marry, he does so with the hope that it's forever. And yet, the thought of losing his children, of missing the daily nuances of their lives, can be an unbearable prospect. This fear of losing children can indeed be a powerful deterrent to marriage for some men. The fear of love itself is a complex issue that many men grapple with. Love is a beautiful, yet terrifying concept. It's a leap of faith that requires one to embrace vulnerability, to open up their heart and soul to another person. It's a commitment to share in the joys, the sorrows, the ups and the downs that life throws our way. And for some men, this vulnerability is deeply unsettling. This fear often stems from the potential of heartbreak. Love, with all its beauty and euphoria, also carries the risk of immense pain and sorrow. The fear of experiencing this pain can be so overwhelming that some men choose to avoid love altogether. Let's consider a real-life example. Meet James, a successful businessman in his mid-30s. James's parents divorced when he was young, and he witnessed the emotional turmoil they went through. This experience left a profound impact on John. As he grew older, he became increasingly wary of relationships, fearing the emotional pain that could come with it. James's story isn't unique. There are countless men out there who, like John, are afraid of the emotional commitment that love requires. They fear the potential heartbreak, the vulnerability, and the emotional turmoil that could ensue. However, it's essential to remember that love isn't merely about vulnerability and potential heartbreak. It's about companionship, understanding, and shared experiences. It's about growing together, learning from each other, and building a life together. Yes, love can be scary and unpredictable, but it can also be the most rewarding experience of one's life. The fear of love, with its inherent risks and vulnerabilities, is another significant factor that keeps some men from walking down the aisle. But remember, love isn't meant to be feared, it's meant to be embraced, cherished, and celebrated. And while the fear of love may hold some back, it's important to remember that love, in all its forms, is a beautiful part of the human experience. So, it's clear that the fear of love and marriage in men is multifaceted. We've traversed the landscape of this topic, unpacking the different elements that contribute to this apprehension. We've talked about the financial risks, the fear of losing hard-earned assets like money and property, which can be a daunting prospect. We've also delved into the fear of losing children, a dread that can be incredibly painful and personal. This fear, deeply rooted in the affection and bond shared with the offspring, can often be a significant factor in men's hesitation towards matrimony. Lastly, we've touched upon the fear of love itself. The vulnerability that comes with opening one's heart to another, the fear of heartbreak, and the fear of commitment are all facets of this complex emotion that can cause anxiety. Understanding these fears is the first step towards addressing them and fostering healthier, happier relationships. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe.